What's up, Planet Rockers? Welcome to our first ever live stream of the 2026 Metal Sessions. Yes, I'm taking you behind the curtain and into the red as I mix the final master for the GEEZER Blitz, the instrumental for this year's sessions. We are prepping this to hit all. We're going to mix this down and make it into a final WAV file so we can hit it to all 15 platforms simultaneously for all global distribution, which is what I'm on. So grab your headphones, turn it up, and let's get to work. Here we go. Yeah. So basically, in a nutshell, I basically take what I do on Audacity in my Windows 7 laptop downstairs in the studio. Yes, it's an old laptop, but you know what? It's solid as anything, and it will do what it needs to do to make this happen in terms of recording. Plus, it's cheap because it's free. Paul likes free. Free is good for Paul, which is always nice. So all the elements were done in the studio downstairs at Boiler Room Studios. I'm in the Planet Cool office, as you can see in the background. This is the Planet Cool office, and basically what I'm doing, I've never done this before. So this is the test run of mixing live and showing how I do it with Audacity. I am using a Windows 10 laptop for the Audacity program, which is an updated version to what I'm using downstairs, which is fine, which is good, because I get some updated tools. So I'm going to bring it up, and this is the GEEZER Blitz. It is an instrumental, so there's no vocals on this one, but the next live stream, which should be later this week, will be for the next song will be with vocals. So I think you get my gist on what I'm trying to tell you and what I'm doing here. So it's good. Essentially bass, guitars, and drums. There's not much more to that. Here we go. So one of the first things I do that I've discovered with Audacity is to see how it would work if I took the drums and made it into one WAV file. So exporting a WAV file. That actually worked out really well as a test run last week when I was doing for the bonus tracks. So here I am, as you can see on the screen that you see there with my Audacity program. So I'm just going to play you what the drums sound like, only the drums, that is. So there we go. So notice the snare is the one that I want it to really stand out. Usually I want the drums to stand out in all aspects. But of course, when doing the song, there's, especially with this one just being an instrumental, the thing I'm going to want to emphasize is both the bass and the guitar more than the drums. So, but I wanted to get the drums to sound as good as they can be, and they do. So what I'm going to do is I am going to take this and make this into a WAV file, which I'm doing right now. So we export, and then I pick up my to downloads, and then I'm just going to say it is drums WAV. There we go. And because I said that, I'm now going to export, and it should be there. So I'm going to bring it up from the downloads, and it is there. And I'm going to bring it into this part right here. So what essentially I'm doing now is I'm muting this, and I'm going to create a label. And I'm going to go over here, and let's just get rid of this, because no, get rid of that. And just say, nope, crap. Just want to say final mix. Audacity from when I'm using the old version downstairs has some different things that you can't do on the newer one. In the old one, you can just put the label and type it in. You have to do Control B. I don't know. It's weird. I don't know why I did that. But anyways, doesn't matter because now we have the GEEZER Blitz live stream drums. Now, why did it this way and not render like I would here, mix and render to new track, is because it misses some of the things that that I've created in terms of loudness and you know, EQ and all that. And I like to use my EQ, so, and I want the EQ to actually be in there. So that was part of the reason why I discovered doing that was better. And I'm just going to make it up to 5 decibels here, 0.5 decibels. And then I'm going to take this one and just do a EQ. I want to go to EQ here. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to, oh, I could do it from here. Let's see here. I'm going to do this. Bring that down to a bit here. So notice it went up, volume-wise. So I'm going to bring it down again using my tool over here, which is the envelope tool, which I discovered is really good. Check that out, And now I'm going to play this. So you're going, okay, so it's just a drum track, yeah, but there are elements of what I'm looking for in this that I'm listening for is the sound of the cymbals there. They coming through nice, and so far I like what I'm hearing. So yeah, this is good, and I just wanted to. Okay, now that I have this, I'm kind of happy with this. Now maybe what I'll do with this one is do this. Maybe do a AM radio type. Okay, let's apply that. And then here. All right, check it out. You can hear the bass kick drum. I like it. And just for the heck of it, what I'd like to do is make one of those with the reverb. Let's see here. I actually don't see it. Oh, where's the... Let's just see if I have my reverb on. Yeah, I do. Okay, so why am I not seeing? I don't see it. Nope. Okay, I'm not going to worry about it then. But weird that I can't find my... says I have it. All right. Okay, I guess we don't have reverb, so I'm not going to worry about it. Yeah, there you go. I don't know. All right, so, and I've probably added it in anyways from what I've done before. So these are my drums that I did as you know, different tracks and added things in. So I'm going to go in with the bass now, because the bass is really the big thing for me on this one. So taking this and taking the bass, I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it into another work area. So I do new. What I do is I go into Audacity and say new, and it's just a workspace that I can just focus on that, and then mix it down to a WAV file so I can, so you see how that sounds, and it's not the, so I'm going to put it at 0. I'm going to make sure the other is 0 for that. I like to keep it at 0 dB when you see it over here, and just make sure it's all at 0, because then I control it from the, you know, the envelope like I was showing before. So now I can probably, let's see what that sounds. I'm going to use my EQ here to just bring it, to lower it in volume. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like that. Okay, and what's this? I'm going to make that lower. I'm just using my EQ to just do that. Okay, that sounds all right. I might take this, do this, and see what I can do in terms of another EQ part here. And it's just trial and error. Just, you know, this I kind of like. And sometimes I like to bring it up a little bit in terms of dB. You just have to play with it. That sounds good. Okay, so I just want to bring this down just a little. Yeah, that sounds good. I like that. That's cool, eh? That's all right. So, basically, so with that said, because now I like that, basically I'm going to go and now do export. That's where I want it. Bass, GEEZER Blitz. And why did I call it the GEEZER Blitz? Nobody cares. Nobody wants to know. But I'll tell you anyways. The reason is because, well, I'm 58. And I thought, oh, that'd be funny. The GEEZER Blitz. Also a little nod to a certain bass player that played in a very famous band that we'll not name right now. You could probably figure it out. Played bass and still here and playing bass and playing with his buddy Tony. Recording with his buddy Tony. So that's pretty cool. So yes, that was part of it. And the instrumental, I thought it would be nice to do it as an inspiration, inspired thing from what I was listening to as both a bass player and a musician. So now I've added the bass in there. So I'm going to put it down to about 0.5 and let's see what it sounds. Oh yeah, that's cool. I like that. That's cool, man. I love it. So maybe what I want to do is make this, bring that down just a little bit. So I can do it either with EQ to turn it down, or I can go over here. I'll make this 0 for the treble because there's really nothing to that nature I want to. Let's do it -3. Yeah, that kind of works. Because it's pretty loud. I just want it to be a little lower. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let's do the same for this. Well, maybe we'll do a little bit less. I think would be good is to do this. Take this part and then just copy this over here. And then bring this down just a tad. That's it. I like that. Sometimes you have to turn the volume down a little bit in certain places, so and as I was saying, I would like to take this and go over here and do this. Get rid of this layer because we don't need that. Now I have both layers. Again. There it is. There we are. Up to here, let's say. Yeah, that's good. And now I'll take this and get rid of this. I like to make that just a tad louder, only because yeah, that's cool. Okay, because this is a different situation with this song. I don't usually emphasize the bass. I do, but I don't in this because the vocals is the whole thing. You need to hear the melody in the vocals. That's always the one that stands out. So if you take the volume of your computer or whatever you're listening to and you turn it really low to maybe 3, 4, the thing that always is pronounced is the vocals, and then the drums, and then the guitars, depending on the song, right? So that's, which is standard, you know. Okay, so now that I did that, I want to see, no, I did I did guitar 1 and guitar 2, which is fine. Plus I did a guitar solo. Which one is the guitar solo? That's what I want to know. Why did I do it like that? No, it's not that. Okay, so let me go back here. I want to make this solo. I want to unmute that, and that. Okay, perfect. So what I want to do is figure out where I put all of the guitar 2's solos. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that is what I did. And is this... and that's... and then I think I did here... yeah, so this is actually... got to rename this to G3 because that's guitar 3. Let's bring that down here. And then guitar 2 is this. Yep. Let me see, did I... and this is also for H2. Oh, I like that. Okay, so again, like I did with the other ones, what I want to do is go to, I just want to go to the empty workspace that I created, and I just want to make sure that I got... that on guitar 1, that other part. So I'm just gonna, sometimes I have noises over here. What I do is I silence it out with my silence tool. My silence tool is a really good tool because it lets me create spaces that I need, because sometimes when you pace, it moves everything around. Having a track or an area where it's all silence is considered a track. It says, oh, you have something there, so we're not going to move any of your other stuff so it's out of place. It can be very annoying at times in Audacity if you don't have that. So, but it also is nice to be able to silence where there's residual noise from the amp or from wherever else you've got there. One of the things I did was with this one in particular, I mic'd the amp. I had 2 amps that I mic'd along with going in with my pedal board, the GX1, and I decided to do that with it, and it worked out great. But sometimes you get this humming noise. I silence that stuff out, so you don't have to hear that crap. And I can get rid of this. That's it. Get rid of that and that. So I think I got it all for silence things out. So before I make it into Wave, I just want to make sure it's all clean that way. See here, I can fix this here. Yes, it's like watching paint dry, but you know what, the mixing is like the whole thing, because it is before it all gets put out there, and I can control whatever it is I want with that and be able to make sure everything is as good as it can be and then I release it. So, but with the guitars this year, I used the GX1 along with a fuzz pedal and other effects, and what I did was I made sure that the EQ was set to a certain way, and I've got that set up for the live stuff. So whether I do this one live, I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes, if it sounds good and I get a good, reception to this one. This seems all good. Yeah, I like this. So let's now export. This is guitar 2. So G2 GEEZER BLITZ. Yeah, I know. Why not? Let's have fun with it. Okay, so as it says final mix below, I should actually say that below, which is what I'm going to render or export when I got everything in there. So I am putting the G2 in there right now, and oh, I gotta make sure that I got it all in there to put. Okay, yeah, I do. Now I might have to control the volume of that. I'd like the guitars to be a little more pronounced, especially some of that is soloing. So now we get to the fun main riff, which is G1. So I'm gonna go to my work area, my worksheet area or workspace. It's not a worksheet, it's more of a workspace. All right, there we go. Okay, I like that. That sounds cool, man. I love it. Usually in the other Audacity stuff, so I've got G3 and G2 doing a harmony thing in that section, and oh, I like that. That sounds good. Now I might just take this, duplicate that, and then do an EQ thing that might sound cool with it, more not as with treble or a high frequency. So I'm gonna just flatten this out. So one of the things I've learned is taking this, take that like that, and then let's go to 400 hertz and see what happens when I do this. Okay, at 100 hertz, 1000 hertz, let's see what it. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, let's do that. Oh. Now let's do it again. For some reason it only, yeah, it's still there. Okay, good. Okay, now let's export it. G1 GEEZER BLITZ. Can't spell, but it sounds good. Can't spell. So, as I was saying before, the amps were mic'd along with the GX1, which is my pedal board that went right directly into my with Red, my USB like translator to the computer. that worked out really well, and I was really happy with that. So that was cool. I guess I could import. I'm going to import audio. I'm going to try this. Yeah, it's right there. I love it. It was easier. So that's what I'm doing. I'm just importing, right? So, okay. So let's just see how it is in terms. Okay, so I already know it's going to be a bit too loud. So let's bring it down. Let's bring it even more down. Actually, if I take this, take that, and take this, and take that, let's bring that down. I'm just going to bring the volume down. Yeah, over here. What if I turned it down just a little bit more? Okay, so let's do this. I like using this because it's the quickest and easiest way to, and for those who are using Audacity, this is a great tool, the star tool, multi-tool. I call it the star tool, but yeah, it's a multi-tool. Basically, you have both the cursor and the envelope tool, so our selection tool in there, and it's great. So I'm going to make this. See, with that multi-tool, I'm able to just take my selection tool. So, with that done, what I want to do is take this part right here. Wherever it starts, which is right here, I'm going to make a little marker. You can do, this is the cool part with the labels, is you can make markers in here to where you want it to be. So where it starts with this, right here. Okay, see this? I'm going to do this. And then I'm going to say I want it to go all the way to here. Copy that, get rid of this. And I want to make this a little bit louder with some treble. So let's do this. Yeah, that's good. Okay, now it's too much. So basically what I'm doing is this one, we bring it down just a little bit. I'm going to use this. I'm going to use this a little bit right here. Oh, you know what? Okay. Here's one trick you can do is just render that track in a yeah, see now it started it over from scratch, and then I can just bring it down just a little bit. So what I did, I rendered that track only, made it basically rendered, and then you can do your envelope right from the start, which is actually really cool because you can control it. Actually, I wanted a little bit of that. Okay, and this is a little too loud, so let's bring this down. Okay, I like that. So I'm going to do Control-C, which allows me to just collapse everything, because I like it to sometimes just be able to see the whole thing. So, and this is coming out in terms of this is probably in May. May 26th and June 26th are for the Act 1 and Act 2 that are going to come out with 4 songs each of the new metal sessions 2026. And the bonus tracks are going to be in July. Okay, so over here, I'm just going to repeat these, and that just when you duplicate a track like that, it just makes it a little bit louder. Which is kind of nice, you know. You don't have to go and do like an increase in volume with the amps, or not the amps, amplify. You don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do a bass and treble thing. You can just duplicate the So let's do it like that. I like to bring that down just to unmute it and just hear what it sounds like. But I think we are there. It sounds good. I'm happy with this. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit, just because I can. That sounds good. I don't mind that. think I need to have go up here. I just want to fix this part here. But for some reason it didn't. Yeah, that's good right here. Okay, I like it. Just decided to change a little bit of that ending. I did do something in there, like a little, like a G chord at the bottom by the 12th fret. Didn't work out. Okay, and this, maybe I want to just emphasize a little more to that. Put it too low. Let's put this a little less. so subjective too in how loud it should be. Put a bit more. I think this is cool right here. Perfect. Okay, so I'm good with this. So now I'm going to do an export of a wave for all this. I take a listen to it a few times the next day because everything's a sandwich. You put it together, sounds good right now, but I bet you it's going to grow on me and I'll be hearing some things. It has to become a sandwich. When you hear something or record something fresh, or you, especially mixing, you got to give it a couple days or a day next day to say, oh, this is what, in your ears hear something different, or it's either better or needs to be improved. Your ears are always the one to go with, because your ears will hear something and you'll know what you like, both in your intuition, your gut will say that doesn't sound good or that sounds great. So that's how I base on things from the past and now in what I'm doing. So here we go. I like it, so let's just do it. And I just want to make sure I have everything else on. If you have everything on mute and don't have the stuff that you like, this stuff is not on mute, which is great, which is what is going to be exported as a wave. Anything that's muted, you won't hear it in the final export. So there we go. And that should allow me to see, okay, let's see. Should allow me to see, it's like watching paint dry, but it's almost done. And yeah, I did pretty good here. Did that like in 45, 50 minutes probably, which is all right. I do see it here. Let's do it by date. Yep, it's there. So what I do sometimes is I take this, my little workspace that I created that's empty. I take the file and I just check it out over here. And there it is. And just bring it down, yeah. And okay, that part could be louder. So I don't want to save that. And that's over here. So I'm just going to do this. And I'm also going to do this. I'm going to take these files and I'm going to just merge them by rendering in a merge and render and name it drums. Perfect. So I'm going to export it again. Yep. Yes, I want to replace it. There we go. And that's it. Again, so what the plan is I'm going to be doing a few more. I probably do about up to 5 songs like what I did just now. I'm going to mix them down and mix them to a really good sound and everything. And then what you hear in the, those 15 platforms is what I did just now live. Of course, they will be live. And there are other songs that I'm not going to be doing live that I'd like to mix down, which is going really well. That's the bonus tracks and a few other songs that I'm not going to put together on the live stream. But what's coming up is that I'm getting the live stream 5 to 8 songs live, playing live like I've done in the past. I'm getting those tracks, the new tracks, ready to do that because I need backing tracks. So I'm working on that, redoing some of the songs that were from the past that I thought I could do better, both in the drums and the sound part, because I've learned a lot about using EQs and how everything works. So it's good. Lots of things happening. So this is good. This is something that's going to sound really good. You're going to hear it. It's going to be all right. And hope you like this. It is like watching paint dry, but there's a reason I do it like this, and there's a reason why I make things happen like this, because I want it to be good. I want it to sound right. So into what my ears think is right for that sound and what I'm looking for. Anyways, thanks for watching. And there will be a replay. That'll be very soon. It'll be in as a replay, and we'll see again. Now, get creative. Go do something fun. And just always trust your instincts. Your instincts know. And see ya. Until next time. See ya.